Hello students, today we'll be working on applications of multiplying polynomials. We'll be doing several algebraic expressions to find the area of various geometric figures. So we will start with the area of a rectangle, and that is found by taking the length times the width. So as we do our work, we'll take A equals, and then we can use the 4x plus 9 as the length. And we'll put that in parentheses. And we'll multiply that by the x minus 8 as the width. So as we've been working on multiplying these binomials, we know that there are 4 multiplications, so we can set up a workspace for each one of those to take place. So we'll be taking 4x times x, and then we'll multiply 4x times the negative 8. And so notice that for the 8, it's negative, so I'm going to put it in parentheses. Then we will multiply the 9 by x, and then finally we will multiply the 9 by the negative 8. And since that 8 is negative, I'm going to put that multiplication in parentheses. So our area would then be found by simplifying each one of these. So 4x times x would be 4x to the second. Now we're taking a 4x times a negative 8. So that's a positive times a negative. So we'll have a negative. We don't want a double sign. So we'll just have negative 32x. Then plus 9x, there's no other simplifying to do there. And then 9 times negative 8, that is a negative 72, so we won't have the double sign. Now we do have like terms in the middle, so we will combine those, and our final answer for area equals 4x to the second. And then when we combine negative 32 plus 9, we get negative 21x minus 72. And those are not like terms, so that would be our final answer for the area of that rectangle. Now I'm going to clear the screen so that I have plenty of space to work on the area of the triangle. So we'll clear this and we'll start over on area of a triangle. Now I've given you the formula for the area. It's 1/2 times the base times the height. Now the base would be this line segment right here. The height is drawn perpendicularly to the base, and you'll see that it's in the middle of the or in the interior of the triangle at a right angle. And so the height is this x minus 7. I want to make sure you know what those parts are. All right, so the area equals 1/2 times the base, which is 6x plus 4, times the height, which is the x minus 7. Now, we will, for the time being, ignore the 1/2, although I am going to write it And then in my workspace, I'll just separate that off with a bracket, and I'm going to set up my 4 blanks as I've been doing for the multiplications that will take place. So we'll start with 6x multiplied by the x. Then we'll go back and we'll take 6x and multiply that by the -7. And then continuing our distributive, we will take the 4 and multiply that by the x. And finally, we will do the distributive, taking the 4 times the -7. Since that 7 is negative, I'm going to again put that in a parentheses. So area equals 1/2. And then inside my bracket, I'll simplify now. So 6x times x is 6x to the second as I add those exponents. I'm taking 6x times -7. So that's going to be a negative, and I'm just going to use that as my sign. So -42x. Then 4 times x, I'll write plus 4x. And 4 times -7 is -28. And again, I'll just use that negative as my sign. I want to combine my like terms. In the middle, I have -42x. I forgot my x there. Plus 4x. So area would equal 1/2 times, and then I'd have 6x to the second minus 42 plus 4 will make 38, and I'll have my x, and then minus 28. Now, the 1/2, that is the same as 0.5. So if you need a calculator, you can do 0.5, but that will be multiplying or distributing to each term inside this parentheses. So you will be taking 0.5 times 6x to the second. That's going to give us 3x to the second. You'll be taking 0.5 times -38x. That would give us -19x. And you would be taking 0.5 times -28, and that will give us -14. So the area of the triangle is 3x to the second minus 19x minus 14. And so we've taken care of the first 2 shapes. We will move on and take a look at the circle and the square. So the area of the circle, the formula for that is pi times the radius squared. Now we're going to leave pi as part of our answer, so I do not want you to change that to 3.14. Just leave it. The radius is represented in this problem by 2x plus 7. So our area of the circle is pi multiplied by the radius, 2x plus 7, and then it says that that is supposed to be squared. All right, now remember what we've done in our previous lesson was that we would write that twice. So 2x plus 7 times itself, 2x plus 7. And then we'll do our multiplication. So again, I'm just going to keep pi as part of my final answer, but I've got my 4 multiplications that I'll be doing. So we'll start with 2x times 2x. and then move on to 2x times 7. Then we'll switch to 7 times 2x. And then 7 times 7. Doing the distributive, multiplying all of one binomial by all of the other binomial. And area would equal pi times, all right, as we do that first multiplication, we get 4x to the second. Then we'll take 2x times 7, that would be 14x. And then we have 7 times 2x, that also is 14x. Both are positive. Plus, and then 7 times 7, which is 49. We have like terms that need to be combined. We will add those together. Our area is going to equal pi times 4x to the second plus, and then when we add our 14x and 14x together, we get 28x, and then plus 49. Now, since we are leaving pi as the symbol pi, we will not be distributing it. We will simply leave our answer as is. So area equals pi times 4x to the second plus 28x plus 49 is the final answer for the area of this circle. Okay, and we will move on from here and do the square. So I'm going to clear the ink again so I have plenty of space. All right, now a square says the area is equal to the side squared. And so remember that all the sides on a square are the same. So rather than having you have to list all 4 sides, we know that we can take the side times itself. So our area would equal, and again, you may want to write it at the beginning using the formula as x minus 6 squared, as the formula says. But when you actually do your work, you will want to write x minus 6 times itself, x minus 6. And then set up your workspace. So hopefully you're seeing this pattern. We have 4 multiplications that we're going to do. And we'll start with doing x times x. And that's a times dot. Then we'll move to x times negative 6. And then we'll do negative 6, multiply that by x. And finally, we'll be taking negative 6 times negative 6. So as we simplify the answer, area would equal, taking x times x, we get x to the second, plus, well, actually, since I'm doing an x times a negative 6, that will be negative 6x. And the same thing will happen on the next one. I'll get negative 6x, and then I'm taking negative 6 times negative 6, and that is positive 36. So once again, I have like terms. They will combine, and our final answer for the area is x to the second minus 12x plus 36. And there we have your area of the square with one side being x minus 6. All right, so we'll have one problem to go. This is a combination problem where you're going to be finding the area of a shaded region, and that is on the back side of your paper. All right, as we look at the problem that's on the back side of your paper, we're going to find the area of the shaded region. And the first thing you're asked to do is to find the area of the inside rectangle. Now, this is the inside, and its dimensions are here on the sides. So the area of the inside is given by x minus 1 times x minus 1, the length times the width. And so we will set up our workspace for the 4 multiplications. We'll be doing x times x. We'll be doing x times negative 1, then negative 1 times x, and finally negative 1 times negative 1. And so this area would be x to the second. Now we have a negative 1 times x, so that's a negative 1x. Same thing for the next one, negative 1x plus, and then a negative times a negative is going to be a positive, and that will be 1. We have like terms that will combine, and the area of the inside rectangle is x to the second minus 2x plus 1. Okay, next you're asked to find the outside rectangle area. Now the outside rectangle area is found by doing the bigger looking rectangle. Its dimensions are given by x plus 2 times x plus 2. So we'll set up that multiplication and set up our 4 workspaces. So we'll do x times x. We'll be doing x times 2. Then we'll be doing 2 times x. And finally, 2 times 2. So our area will have x to the second plus 2x plus 2x plus 4. We have our like terms in the middle. Area is going to equal x to the second plus 4x plus 4. All right, now it says to write a simplified expression for the shaded region. So the area of the shaded region could be found by we need to cut out that little corner that is shown as the inside. So we need to take the outside rectangle area and subtract out of that the inside rectangle area. So I will be setting that up. Area would equal, I want to use my answer that I got for the outside. So x squared plus 4x plus 4. And we're going to subtract from that. Now, the inside area, I want to subtract that entire expression. So I have to use a parentheses around my x squared minus 2x plus 1. So now I'll work on simplifying that expression. Now this is going back a couple of lessons. So we'll rewrite x squared plus 4x plus 4. But remember that subtraction is like distributing a negative 1. So we'll have negative x to the second. We will have positive 2x, and we'll have negative 1. In order to drop the parentheses, we have to change every sign. And so now we'll combine our like terms. X squared and negative x squared actually cancel. So we will no longer have an x squared term. Our 4x and 2x will combine to give us 6x. And then our plus 4 and minus 1 will combine to give us 3. So the area of just the shaded region is 6x plus 3. And then the last question that's asked is, what is the area of the shaded region when x equals 4? So we can take that last answer that we finished, and when x is 4, that means that we can substitute a 4 where the x is. So the area would equal 6 times, and then we'll substitute in the 4. So 6 times 4 plus 3. And when x is 4, the area would be 24 plus 3, or 27. And if we had units, area is measured in square units. So 27 square units would be the area of the shaded region when x is 4. All right, so this should help you with your homework 4. You have problems that are very similar. Be sure to continue to let your teacher know if you need any help.